Ebusia ema akwaba so nkokora de obeye PhD TV ebusia na maka cho se Ghana amanyo soma etwegu eye hot political update na me be dom channel yi eso sanso na nsema hodo fa ba honorable Kennedy akompre kunkuntun berema onyene Agyapong bema ba bema nsinso ansa na ham ne ho sem de bebre na obeti ewo channel yi eso internet no first time aba channel go so the message bomodin subscribe channel no for me na share video we for mo nua na onye be insurance de ekoso ewo my Ghana hase like it, na comment it, na me hu so adwen chefa sa insemi ehu ebusua former MP edema Swami constituency honorable Kyei Mensah Bonsu in fact we trouble yewura Kennedy akompre ko Ohene Agyapong papa Osi Kennedy oye fancy talker loose talker Osi Kennedy oni grassroots ni hwe ono Kennedy aputo asui osaso kanya aka sisu se Kennedy Agyapong osura o kire se oye be ma eno ni grassroots fo owie ye Kennedy di ni seat akwa Chinese fo wodi amandisi fo fara o se da bobo seat na no so mu no de mandisi fo se mu so mu nje in fact wakan kwase asema kansanfo papa na busia ne wure pride de nya ha na mede be ma no se mu de mu nime mede be ma na ekire different video mo me de never prime man na yewura kosi kwatin honorable kosi kwatin awe prime no wa we prime say Kyei Mensah Bonsu style bi no wade ne dia man left and right simunim kosi kwatin okasa e smooth so punches ye den ewo mu ankasa na o say Kyei Mensah Bonsu na hu oye ungrateful ena sisi o preposition as running mate to Baumia Inti diaka no ne nsɛmhunu bi a no yeden sisia de okeka e de fayura Kennedy Agyapong because wo begina be bia kanfo Kennedy do wa kanfo na kanfo no saa ne loose talk na no de na mu constituency a every election bia no ba ho e be campaign de ma wo ma Kennedy ni constituency be campaign mi ma ne da untumi nya de ma de ba Kennedy dia every 4 years biala okko constituency bia mu koboa ne nkofo bi tise mo campaign de mammo ebusia momu yentie ne yewia yakotie kusi kwaten so nsema okan
action speaks louder than words.
What are the actions?
You are old enough to remember the lyrics of Jimmy Cliff.
Yes.
Right? Action speaks louder than words. Don't be deceived by fancy talkers. Thank you.
Kennedy Agyapong is a fancy talker?
I've not said so. I'm just playing back the music of Jimmy Cliff to us.
But you don't
when you go back to the studio, please play it for me.
I will. But you don't dispute that he has a very strong affinity with the base of the party, the grassroots.
Who is the... Look, if you're talking about a grassroots, I'm a grassroots man. I started with this party in 1992.
You may have started there, but you're an establishment. You represent the establishment.
And I represent the grassroots as well.
Yeah, but that's where you started. That's where you are.
If I were disconnected with my grassroots at Swami, I couldn't have, on 7 consecutive occasions, been their representative. I'm a grassroots person. Yes. I don't dispute the fact that he may also have his own connection with the grassroots. After all, he also contested 6 times his constituency, right? When he left, he surrendered the seat to the NDC.
But your comparison...
When I left, as I maintained the seat for the NPP.
Yes, but your...
So in terms of grassroots connect, let's overhype our strength. Don't let anybody over-exaggerate his strength. Action, as I've told you, speaks louder than words.
Right now on the line, Mr. Kwati, I'm grateful that you could join us. Is Kennedy Agyapong possibly exaggerating his strengths in this race to lead the party into the 2028 elections?
Yeah, good evening, Evans. I'm struggling to find a better way of responding to this comment. Because my thinking is that ordinarily we expect senior party members to make unifying comments and not comments that in a way may stumble or will depict any form of divisiveness. Because I don't get the basis of this comment. I mean, this Ken was your colleague in Parliament. And can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Yeah, he's been a friend. There are on many occasions where he had to travel from Central Region to Ashanti Region, the Swami constituency to be precise, and even campaign for the Honorable Kyei Mensah Bonsu. So I'm surprised where and why these comments are coming in. But of course, let me add that Agyapong's connection with the grassroots is not manufactured. It is earned, and it is deeply rooted in years of consistent support, personal sacrifice, and a strong advocacy for the ordinary party member. It even goes beyond party members. If you look at his philanthropic job to the entire Ghanaian community. And so I don't think is a question for debate. It is left for the Honorable Kyei Mensah to have his own view about Agyapong, whether or not he's indeed a grassroots man. At the end of the day, 31st is just at the corner, and I'm sure the grassroots will speak. For us, for now, let me say that we are so focused and connecting and keeping in touch with the same grassroots and hoping that they buy our message. That is, for us, the most important thing. And of course, we are also focused in making comments that will unify the party, that will strengthen the party, and that will make everybody feel involved without comments that suggest some form of divisiveness. It will not be good for us in 2028. And so we will prefer not to go so much into it. But I must add that I'm a bit taken out. I'm surprised because, for the Honorable Kyei Mensah Bonsu, his status, not only in the party, but in the whole Ghanaian politics, nobody expected that comments like that will come, that Agyapong's connection with the grassroots is overhyped. I'm still struggling to get the basis. And, politics should not divide us. The fact that today you are supporting a different hopeful or an aspirant does not necessarily mean that you forget of all the good moments that you enjoyed with your friends and colleagues in Parliament for over 8 terms, which is the cumulative effect will be about 24 years. But
one of his fundamental arguments is that he, Kyei Mensah Bonsu, also left his seat. But he says he left his seat, and when the polls were done, he made sure that the MPP still won it, and that in the Agyapong's case, if he claims he's a grassroots person, he left his seat, and when the polls were done, the NDC had captured it. And that shows that he's not as grounded in the grassroots, at least in his own base in his constituency, as people make him out to be.
I'm going to respond to that. But Evans, out of 15 regions, if you compare our vote in 2020 to that of 2024, it is only in Northeast region where we appreciated marginally in votes. Talking about the presidential election, we declined in all 15 regions. Doesn't mean that the candidate is supporting is also not a grassroots person, because he lost votes in all regions. But come to think of it, and of course the reference that he's making, you see, we must understand that there comes a time where people or individuals' popularity can sometimes even outweigh that of the political party, to the extent that people's allegiance will be to the individual and not necessarily the political party. And that is what played out in the Assin Central contest, where the seat, which was traditionally an NDC seat, for the first time contested and won by Agyapong with his popularity and influence. But after 6 decades, after 6 terms, when he was no longer there, the people felt that, the allegiance is not necessarily for the party. That should, in itself, tells you that Agyapong's popularity and his connection with the grassroots was rather predominant and profound. It is even the more reason why, when he always contested, he won. But when he left, the party couldn't even retain the seat. So the reverse of the argument that he's making is rather true.